I, 28, female, recently got married to my college boyfriend after dating for almost 6 years. I've known his family for the past 5 years. We've been living together an equal amount of time, and yet my mother-in-law, let's call her Jenna, has never seemed to accept me. Right from the beginning, she has had it in for me, and I know exactly why. It's because her youngest son, my husband, is her favorite, and she can't tolerate the thought of losing him to another woman, and that's it. I know it's weird, but that's just what it is, and it cannot be helped. I can say this with full confidence because I have heard it from the most reliable sources, her own daughters. My husband is the youngest of 3 kids, and he has 2 older sisters, both married, and both of them are good friends of mine. They also don't have a very good relationship with their mom, but my husband does, and it's been a tricky balancing act for him to keep it all together. Because after his father passed away 2 years back, he's pretty much the glue holding the family together. As long as his father was alive, the family still had a reason to see each other, to be good to each other, because everyone loved and respected and admired the man. Now, everybody has been doing the same thing, but just out of love for my husband. But other than that, I know that Jenna doesn't like me, and she only puts up with her daughters because it would look weird for a parent not to do so. Likewise, even her daughters try to take care of her and be there for her, because they are just doing their duty as her children. However, recently things got pretty weird at her retirement party because Jenna decided to pull some insane crap, and nobody was buying it. I don't know how. As a respectable school teacher, she could bring herself to something like this, but I will still try to explain the situation to the best of my abilities. So, like I said, Jenna had never really liked me, and right from the beginning she was kind of weird with me. She was aloof and cold and slightly mean, but I never let that get to me because honestly, it didn't matter to me whether she liked me or not. In the beginning, it was kind of weird, and I have even brought it up with my husband several times. But I think after a point, both of us knew that there was nothing that we could do about it, so we just let it be. It was not worth confronting her about, so we just let it go, and we've been letting it go for the longest time, so she probably thought that she could pull off whatever crazy stunts she wanted. And she would still be able to get away with it. But unfortunately, that was not the case. She invited us all to her retirement party, so her kids were there. Their partners were there, and a bunch of her friends and extended family were also present at the party. Everybody was having a good time, but then all of a sudden, she decided to make an announcement. And to my surprise, she started off by telling me that she was very sorry to do this in public, but she had to warn everyone. I had no idea what she was going to do. So I just froze, and my husband tried to stop her from doing anything that she was going to regret. But there was no stopping her anymore. She went on speaking, and then she told everyone that she had been having a lot of consultations with her psychic recently because apparently weird things had been happening in her home and in her life. And after speaking about everybody in her life, she had to come to me. And her psychic had informed her that it could be my fault because given the position of the stars at the time of my birth, it could very well indicate that I was a cursed woman. And so it finally made sense why terrible things had started happening in their family after I had become a part of it. I found that to be a very unfair thing to say, as well as very humiliating. She was basically advising everyone to keep their distance from me. And she was telling everyone not to invite me to family gatherings anymore because she couldn't trust me. And at least as long as she was around, she would not want me to be there because she really had a lot of faith in her psychic. And for her own safety, at this age, she could not let me be around herself anymore. My husband tried to get her to take that back. He tried to get her to apologize immediately, but she was not having it. And instead, She even started telling him that maybe he should consider leaving, or at least taking some precautionary measures if he were to live with me, because clearly there was something wrong if her psychic had said so. It was insane what she was trying to do, and I was almost on the verge of leaving because I did not need this kind of negativity and humiliation. But then my sister-in-law, the younger one, chose to speak up for me. My eldest sister-in-law, Hannah, has always been kind of quiet, and she was just trying to support my husband in trying to get her mother to take back her words and not insult me anymore. But my younger sister-in-law, Kelly, has always been more outspoken, and she decided to pipe up, saying that even she dabbled in the psychic arts, and if she had known that her mother had taken such a keen interest in all of this, she definitely would have suggested her to come to her instead, because she was far more experienced and knowledgeable in this field than others. And before anybody asks, I don't know if any of that's true or not, because honestly, I have asked her about it and she refuses to tell me the truth, but it doesn't matter because I don't believe in any of this. However, that day, as soon as Kelly said that she also dabbles in all this, Jenna started telling her that her psychic was pretty reliable and she didn't need a second opinion. But Kelly, being Kelly, decided to tell her mother that she did not need to worry about me being encouraged or anything. Because according to her calculations, which she had done a lot earlier when she first started getting into this, it was actually Jenna who was cursed because of her stars at the time of her birth. And yet, even though she had been a part of everybody's life for so many years, nothing untoward had happened. And even if it had, nobody blamed her for it. So she did not think that it was fair to put it all on me. And she wanted her mother to take back her words. Obviously, Jenna did not take that kindly, and she totally went red in the face. She said that Kelly did not know what she was talking about, and she lost her temper, and the party was ruined. My husband tried to calm her down and took her upstairs, and everybody left because nobody wanted to be a part of this awkward family drama anymore. But I could see that people were embarrassed, and they even apologized to me, though they didn't have to. Anyway, after a while, Hannah and my husband came back down with their mother, and she seemed to be a bit calmer. Later on, my husband told me that upstairs, Jenna had been losing her mind and ranting about me, and how insolent I was, and how it was ridiculous that Kelly was siding with me instead of her own mother. But apparently my husband and Hannah had not said anything because they did not think that it would lead to anything worthwhile. So they just decided to let her rant, and eventually, once they knew that everybody had left, they decided to bring her down so that they could talk to me and her together and try to come to a conclusion about all of this. Anyway, she was brought down, and as soon as she saw me, Kelly and Kelly's husband sitting together, she started getting agitated again, and she said that we needed to get out of the house. Me, because I'm cursed. And Kelly and her husband, because they were disrespectful towards her and her beliefs. I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. But when she said that, Kelly started fighting with her. Kelly told her that she couldn't say stuff like this, especially in public, and that it was seriously concerning that she actually bought into any of this. She told her mother straight to her face that she thought that she needed therapy because clearly there was something wrong with her. There was some mental instability going on and they were not going to have it. Jenna was obviously outraged and she was looking around expecting her son or her elder daughter to defend her or something, but they said nothing. In fact, my husband even went to the extent of telling her that maybe Kelly was right and this was something worth thinking about. Because clearly, if she was allowing her psychic to dictate how she should behave in public to her own daughter-in-law, there was something seriously wrong with her and her beliefs, and she needed to reevaluate her priorities. Ultimately, what had happened and how she treated me in public was not right, and there was no way to justify it. That's what my husband said. And she totally started freaking out. She started screaming in our faces, telling us to get out of the house, telling us that we were the ones who were crazy, not her. And this just reinforced the belief that she actually was going through something or the other, because normal people don't behave like that. But anyway, after a while, we decided to leave, and Hannah was the only person who lingered for a while because she did not want to leave her mother while she was raging in that state, because she was scared of what might happen. Eventually, she had to leave as well because Jenna started threatening to call the cops if she didn't go away. So we came away, and it was a pretty weird, complicated situation, but that's how it is. And for the past couple of days, we haven't had any contact with her. Hannah has been the only one who has regularly checked up on her mother, just to make sure that she's still there and we know that she's safe and sound. Because after her recent behavior, I don't think that she can be trusted to be on her own. Anyway, I did not think that we were going to talk to her anytime soon, because how she had treated me was very disrespectful, and mental instability or not, I was not going to excuse it and let it go. And even my husband was done with his balancing act, because this was too much for him to take. So far, he had been tolerating her and her behavior towards me because he knew that he was his mother's favorite and he did not want to hurt her. But now, there was no way to deal with this kind of thing without hurting me, and he knew that. So he did what was for the best, and I really appreciate that. However, Jenna obviously does not feel the same way, and she let me know as much by sending me a really strongly worded email earlier this evening, and I don't know what to think of it. I guess I will just paste it here because I really don't have the energy to do too much. So here it is. I don't want to send this email, but after everything that's happened, I feel like I need to say my part. I've kept quiet for a long time, hoping things would get better, but what you did at my retirement party crossed the line. You made a scene at an event that was supposed to be about celebrating my career and my life. Instead, it turned into something ugly, and I'm still hearing about it from people who were there. You embarrassed me in front of friends and family, and whether you meant to or not, it felt intentional. From the beginning, I've had a feeling about you. I tried to put it aside, tried to be civil, but it's clear now that my instincts were right. Ever since you came into this family, things have started to shift. I've watched my kids change, and not for the better. They defend you no matter what, even when you're being rude or disrespectful. And I honestly don't know how you've managed to wrap them around your finger like this. But it's painful to see. You've made it very clear that you don't respect my beliefs or my concerns. You rolled your eyes, you let Kelly mock me, and instead of showing even a little compassion, you stood there and let things spiral. And now I'm the bad guy? Or because I shared something that mattered to me? I've spent my whole life doing my best for this family, and now I feel like a stranger in it. Maybe that's what you wanted. If so, well done. You've created a wedge that I don't think can be fixed. My daughters don't listen to me, and my own son looks at me like I'm the problem. It hurts more than you probably realize. I'm not going to reach out again. I need space from all of this and from you. Please don't contact me. I don't want to argue or explain myself anymore. I've said what I needed to say, and I hope someday you'll look back and realize how much damage you've caused. Jenna. I don't even know what to make of this. Do you guys think that I'm in the wrong here? Because this is seriously messing with my head. I feel like I might have handled the situation better or something. I don't know. I just don't know what to say anymore. She's blaming me for the whole thing, and I don't know why, but it feels like she's projecting a lot because I don't remember doing any of the things that she's been accusing me of. I literally feel like I'm losing my mind or something because this feels the other way round. And also, it's not just her kids who think that she needs help. The rest of the family also agrees with it, although they haven't said that to her directly. So even if we go by whatever she has said and believe that, Maybe I have some sort of influence over the opinions of her children. She can't say that for the entire family, can she? So, AITA for apparently turning my husband and his siblings against my mother-in-law? Update 1. Hey, thank you so much to everybody who commented on my post and reassured me that I was not in the wrong here. Because honestly, the tone and content of the email that I received really messed with my head. I had honestly started to think that maybe I was somehow at fault because, as you can see, Jenna was very vehement about whatever she said. So naturally it started getting to me, but eventually after going through the comments here, I guess I saw sense. I also spoke to my husband about it, which I hadn't done at the time. I made this post here because I was so disturbed. And I knew for a fact that if I showed him this email, he was going to be upset as well, because he was already quite upset about everything that had happened previously, because he could see that he was failing at holding the family together. And he had told me that he felt like he was failing his father in doing so. I had to convince him that he was not failing anybody, that none of this was his fault. So he didn't need to worry about failing anyone, least of all his dad, who would have always been proud of him for dealing with everything to the best of his abilities. So because he was already going through all of this, facing so much self-doubt and anxiety regarding the state of his family, I did not want to add to his troubles, and that's why I kept it all a secret from him. But then I finally told him yesterday, and I showed him the email, and after he read it, he was infuriated because obviously he could see that his mother was projecting. He told me that Jenna was blaming me for everything that was actually her own fault. And I did not need to take it to heart at all. And in fact, I didn't even need to think about it at all because clearly it was just a bunch of baloney. Speaking to him about it and getting it off my chest made me feel much better. And having addressed it with him, I really don't think I have anything to worry about. I guess I was just feeling a little oversensitive, and that's why I decided to post here, because I did not want to bother anybody else about all of this once again. I think that there has already been enough drama in the family. We don't need any more, and that's why I want to avoid it at any cost. Venting about it here was one outlet for me, so I decided to utilize that, and I think I did a good thing because the comments here were actually pretty helpful. And the advice that I received did actually do me a lot of good. So thank you to everybody who commented. It does mean a lot to me. Update 2. Hey everyone, so it's been a week and a half since the incident at the retirement party, and we have had barely any contact with Jenna. She stayed true to her word for the most part, and she has not bothered to contact us. Same goes for Hannah and Kelly as well. They have not been speaking to her either, although Hannah has been trying to keep a check on her because, well, she's old and she needs somebody at least, and I get that. But apart from that, there was nothing that we heard from her or had to say to her. Until today, that is. It was a Sunday, so my husband and I were at home. All of a sudden, at around 10 a.m., she started ringing the doorbell, and when I saw that it was her outside, I didn't know how to react. I told my husband that it was her, and asked him if we should let her in or not, because after whatever had happened previously, and after that email, I didn't really know what to do. After thinking about it for a couple of seconds, he decided to let her in, and from the time that she entered the house till she was seated, she didn't even look at me. She pretended like I was not even there. And she was acting as if the only person in the room was her son. She only addressed him while she spoke, and she said that she had given it a lot of thought and had decided that if he and her sisters were going to behave like this with her, then she would have no other option but to disown them. And she really did not want to do that, so she was here to inform him so he could tell his sisters about it, and they would be able to come to a conclusion whether they want to improve their behavior towards her or not. Or if they want to continue acting like this and completely losing her for the rest of their lives. My husband seemed a little shocked, but a couple of seconds later, he told her that he had already made up his mind, and he said that she was the one who owed me an apology, and he was not going to take this kind of nonsense anymore. So if she wanted to disown them, she was welcome to do so. And he was confident that his sisters all also felt the same way. He said that he would communicate this to his sisters if that's what she wanted, but apart from that, if she was expecting an apology from him and if she was under the delusion that he was going to forgive her for everything and pretend as if everything was fine even though it wasn't, then she was sorely mistaken. She was pretty upset then, and she started saying and telling her that my husband, that he was being extremely ungrateful, especially considering the fact that she's a widow now. And the only people that she has in her life are her children, and now even that's being taken away from her. She was trying to make it seem like she was the victim here, but my husband was not having it. He told her very directly that she was not having anything taken away from her, but she was losing them herself because of her stubbornness and her behavior towards me. So the only solution to get her children back was to apologize to me and behave better in the future. And if she was ready to do that, then they would gladly welcome her back into their lives. At that point, she laughed in the meanest way possible and said that she was never going to be asking for forgiveness to somebody who was cursed and had ruined her life. And I was apparently just proving the fact that I was cursed for this family because everything started going wrong after I became a part of it. And now look, I guess right from the beginning I know what she's been hinting at. But I haven't been brave enough to say it because it's so disgusting and wrong. But today she said it loud and clear. And there's no taking it back. She said that she thought that me and my bad luck were responsible for taking their father away earlier than he was supposed to go. And that apparently I was the one responsible for this whole fight that was going on, for causing a family feud between them. Not only this, and she also said that my bad mojo was responsible for the fact that even though Hannah had already conceived one child earlier, she was having trouble conceiving a second one for almost half a year now. I don't know why, but this really got to me, especially the fact that she was accusing me of causing my father-in-law's demise with my bad luck. I snapped at her and told her that maybe if she had taken better care of her husband, he wouldn't have passed away. Honestly, I don't know if that's true or not. But I just felt like I had to say something, and that's what came to my mind at first. But I thought it was fair enough because she was blaming me for something that really had nothing to do with me. So why should I do the same to her? Just for your information, my father-in-law passed away from a heart attack in the middle of the night. So I don't think that it was anybody's fault. But if she was going to blame me, I was not going to hold back either. She started yelling at me, saying I didn't know what I was talking about, and that she didn't even want to talk to me, so I needed to stay out of this. She said that she was speaking to her son, and that she was here only to talk to him, not me. But I said that I live here as well. It's my home just as much as it is his. So she has to talk to me if she's going to say such crap about me, whether she likes it or not. And if she doesn't like it, she can just leave because, as it is, I don't want her under my roof. She has created enough drama and trouble for all of us, and we don't need this nonsense anymore. So then she started telling me that she was not going to leave until her son told her to, because it was his house, at least in her opinion, and she doesn't need to take any orders from me because she doesn't value me. She doesn't even count me as part of the family, and she seemed quite smug saying all of it. That didn't last long, though, because as soon as she said that, her son himself told her that he wanted her to leave as well because he was not going to tolerate her insulting me. It had gone on long enough, and it had gone on unchecked by him, and he was not going to allow it anymore. He told her he had done enough to maintain the peace of the family. He had tried to avoid any sort of confrontation with her because he really believed she would come to her senses on her own. But clearly, that is not going to happen anytime soon. So now he wasn't going to deal with her either. He was done with her and he asked her to leave. Obviously, she was shocked. She started telling him that he should not allow himself to be manipulated and misled by me, and he needed to start thinking for himself. But my husband was not having it, and he told her that she just needed to leave, and that he was already thinking for himself, so he did not feel the need to take her advice, especially after she had said such horrible things about me, knowing that he loves me. She tried to fight against it, but my husband eventually managed to get her out of the house and shut the door. Even after shutting her out, she kept screaming at us from outside the door until we told her that we were going to call the cops if she didn't leave immediately. After that, she did go away. But safe to say, she totally ruined our morning. However, we didn't allow it to ruin a perfect Sunday, so after talking about it for a bit, we decided to actually do something with ourselves and went on a walk. Then we came back, watched a movie, drank some wine, and ended the day on a good note. I'm in bed right now, and honestly, the events of the morning already seem like a lifetime away, so I think we did a good job of trying to put it out of our heads. I just hope that after this she learns her lesson and doesn't try to bother us anymore, because I'm truly done with her, and the next time she shows up and tries to disturb our peace, I'm just going to call the cops and let them deal with her. Update 3. So, hi everybody. It's been a couple of weeks since my last interaction with my mother-in-law, and after Jenna showed up at our house the other day and was kicked out by my husband, she did not try to talk to us again. But all of us received an email from her today, and by all of us, I mean my husband, Hannah and Kelly and their partners. And the email said that this was our last opportunity to apologize to her, to beg for forgiveness. And if she had a heart to do it, then she would forgive us and we would be able to fix our relationship with her. But otherwise, if he didn't speak to her within a week, she would be disowning us for sure. Honestly, it was so hard for me not to roll my eyes at that. All of us spoke about it on a conference call, and we decided that we were not going to apologize because getting disowned by her doesn't really matter to us. Obviously, if anything were to happen to her, we would all take care of her. But apart from that, right now, I don't see any reason for us to apologize after how she has behaved with me. So, we have made up our minds, and we are not backing down. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.